flicking around TikTok, and I'm not very active on there. I do have a TikTok account, and every now and then I'll chop up one of my YouTube videos and place them over there. But man, I am YouTube. I'm YouTube all the way, man. But it's funny, man. I've watched one of these young kids, and he posted a playing clip, and it's so blatantly obvious that he's edited and time corrected a piece and sped up the piece and chopped out all the spaces between the notes. Then he videotapes himself miming what he has manipulated into the most ridiculous and awe-inspiring guitar playing. And the fools of the world, the idiots of the world, those who know not, those who know no better, are easily fooled by these computer manipulations. It's not real playing, it's computer trickery. And I know what a guitar sounds like when it's manipulated. And this is not effect pedals. This is not something you can buy in the store. This is computer manipulation and trickery. It is essentially fraud. And this, people are so easily fooled that I was searching through the comments of this video, trying to see if somebody was pointing out that this was fake, that this was completely fake. Now, while he videotaped his hands moving in time to the recording was actually heavily edited and manipulated. Guitar does not sound like that. And, but, people are now judging that as real guitar playing and thinking that anything that's not, machine manipulated, you just suck now. We all just suck because we play real guitar recorded at a real tempo, and we don't manipulate it. We don't chop out all the spaces, and we don't speed it up, and we don't use complete trickery. Now it is at the point where we suck because we don't sound like that. It's kind of like, in the early days of plastic surgery, and you would have girls that were just heavily using plastic surgery and enhancing their bodies and doing all this. And then the poor girl next door with no money was stuck with whatever God gave her. And that is the reality of the world we live in now. If you're real, it's tough to compete with the trickery, forgery, and tomfoolery of these people who are deceiving the public. They're not being honest. Now, I know there are guys that do play at an incredible level, people like Mateo Mancuso and things like that. Those people can play that stuff live, and they can improvise at a very high level. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about these TikTok trick artists, phony, fake nonsense. And I would challenge any of those guys to just go play at a jam sometime. Post sitting in with a blues band, and let's see if your style works in a real life situation. Or is what you're doing so computer manipulated that when you actually get in a situation with a band and you actually have to play, that you really just suck? That is the test. I mean, look, in the world of martial arts, there were all kinds of people with flashy styles and doing all this trickery and all this jumping around and screaming and all that. But in a real life combat situation, they'd probably get their butts kicked. And man, I know a lot of people enjoy the band Polyphia. And I was curious, man. I know they compose their stuff on a computer, and I know they probably compose it very slow and build it and go, okay, we'll put a triplet here and we'll do this. And that's composition, and I'm just assuming that they're able to play that stuff live. I don't know. But I do know this. When they both Polyphia guys got on stage with Steve Vai and just to jam over, I don't know, it was an E minor jam or whatever, and they tried to play, dude, it sucked. They look like deer in the headlights, and it was like their style was proven to not work in a combat situation. Now, while a guy like Mateo Mancuso could easily give Steve Vai a run for his money and probably surpass, technique-wise, anything Steve Vai does, these other guys, these guys that rely on the technology to enhance or compose or create, or even in these TikTok guitarists' case, completely manipulate something to make it seem something that's impossible to play and sound like, to make it seem possible when it's not real at all. This is old dude wisdom, but there are a lot of fools out there that are easily fooled that this is real. And there was a guy in the comments section. He was trying to tell them, look, I'm an engineer. I know what a guitar is capable of. I know what a guitar sounds like. And this is manipulation. And people were like, yeah, right, bro. Yeah, whatever. You're just jealous. The idiots of the world, the buffoons, the clowns, the peanut gallery of the world, they just see it and bow down to the falsity, the manipulations, the trickery. They bow down to the demon. And when you speak truth to the idiots, they think you're speaking lies. And I'm just, the lack of intelligence in society, man, it's alarming. People are buying into so much trickery and fakery that it's disheartening. Because as an old dude who's always done things the old school way, and just just hit record on your computer, your software, Logic Pro, hit record on it. Hit record on your video, just play. That's how I record videos. And I don't go and speed things up and chop out all the spaces. Yeah, if there's a blank space where I'm not playing for a minute or 30 seconds or 10 seconds, I chop that out. But I'm not manipulating the speed. I'm not doing any of this trickery because frankly, it's so frigging fake that it looks ridiculous. But even more ridiculous were the fools and idiots that are so easily deceived. You are so easily fooled by the manipulations that it is a sad, sad state that we are in. It is a sad, sad world when somebody wants to make it, somebody wants to blow up on TikTok so bad, they're copying other fakes. They're figuring out, there's videos that tell you how to do it. But the minions of the world, the mass, the great unwashed, the great unthought, the great idiots of the world are easily fooled by their deception. They're easily fooled by the trickery, so that when they hear a real guitarist and a real musician actually play, they think it sounds old-fashioned. They think that you suck. I would love to get one of these obvious trickery fools on a stage and see what they really have in a battle situation. And let me give you a little story. I'll give you a little story. You know, I went to GIT at a young age, and you know, Scott Henderson sits in a room and you can go in and jam with him. And everybody thinks, man, I'm gonna get up and jam with Scott Henderson. He's gonna be impressed by my playing, and you know, this is gonna be awesome. And you think it's gonna be a moment where you're gonna shine. But the reality is this, and it's probably gonna be the same for a lot of these guys. They probably never played a gig in their life. They're very good at editing and trickery. But when it comes to just playing guitar off the cuff and winging it, you know, just like when I sat down with Scott Henderson, I was so nervous. I started to play a little bit at a time. And Scott is chiding me. Time, you're out of time. And he's busting my chops. And you know what? I would think it would be a similar situation. Some of these con artists, that's exactly what they are. Some of these con artists placed in a situation where they had to sit in a room with no computer, plug straight into an amp. And you know what? Let's take the gain. Let's take the gain out of the equation. Look, if you can't just plug straight into an amp without a compressor, without a chorus pedal, without a distortion pedal, without any gain, and do something that sounds good, and you got other issues at hand. I would love to see one of these guys get down and play with a real guitarist, a real player who can actually play, and see how they fall flat on their face. Because that is exactly what would happen. This trickery, this tomfoolery, this stuff has got to end, man. Because it's destroying music. It's destroying real music. And it's a lie. So if you're one of those guys making these videos and thinking, oh, I just got 10,000 TikTok followers and I'm blowing up, and now they're streaming my single that was recorded with complete trickery, guess what? You're just living a lie, man. Stop it, man.